And on the chilly morning of January 15, 1947, a local mother and her young child were taking a walk through Leimert Park, a developing suburb of Los Angeles. They stumbled upon what they first believed to be a discarded mannequin lying in the tall weeds of a vacant lot. As they moved closer, the horrific reality became clear. It was the lifeless body of a young woman, posed with a grotesque and deliberate precision that would shock even the most hardened of homicide detectives. The scene was gruesome beyond imagination. The body had been severed cleanly at the waist, drained entirely of its blood, and scrubbed clean before being abandoned. This was not just a murder, it was a macabre spectacle designed to terrorize and confound. The victim was soon identified by the FBI using fingerprints from a past arrest as 22-year-old Elizabeth Short. She was a beautiful but troubled aspiring actress who had drifted to Hollywood with dreams of stardom, like so many others. The press, in their typical sensationalist fashion, quickly gave her a nickname that would become infamous, the Black Dahlia. This name, possibly derived from a recent film noir, captured the public's imagination and forever cemented her place in the dark annals of Hollywood history. The name evoked a sense of mystery and tragedy, a beautiful flower cut down in its prime, its dark petals concealing a story of unfulfilled ambition and a violent end. The sheer brutality of the crime scene left an indelible mark on the city. Her face had been mutilated with a Glasgow smile, a terrifying cut that stretched from the corners of her mouth to her ears, creating a permanent, ghastly grin. The surgical precision of her bisection pointed to a killer with significant medical knowledge, a clue that sent investigators down a specific but frustrating path. The fact that she was killed elsewhere and her body meticulously cleaned before being dumped added layers of complexity to the investigation. It suggested a murderer who was not only sadistic, but also highly intelligent, methodical, and careful to cover his tracks, leaving behind a chillingly clean stage for his work. The discovery launched one of the largest and longest manhunts in the history of the Los Angeles Police Department. Everyone was a potential suspect, and every lead was pursued with a desperate urgency. The city was gripped by a mixture of fear and morbid fascination, as newspapers published every lurid detail they could uncover about Elizabeth's life and the ongoing investigation. The Black Dahlia was no longer just a person. She had become a symbol of Hollywood's darkest side, a cautionary tale about the perils that lurked beneath the glamorous facade of the movie industry. Her story became a permanent fixture of American true crime lore. The LAPD, assisted by the FBI, immediately began the monumental task of piecing together Elizabeth Short's final days. They interviewed hundreds of people, from Hollywood producers to drifters, trying to retrace her steps. The investigation was hampered by Elizabeth's transient lifestyle and the numerous, often contradictory stories told by those who knew her. The primary clue that guided the early investigation was the killer's apparent surgical skill. The hemicorpectomy, the bisection of the body, was performed with a precision that strongly suggested medical or anatomical training. This led detectives to scrutinize students and staff at nearby medical schools. But this line of inquiry ultimately yielded no concrete suspects, leaving them at a frustrating dead end. The killer seemed to enjoy the media attention, taunting the police and the press. A package was mailed to the Los Angeles Examiner, containing some of Elizabeth Short's personal belongings, including her birth certificate and address book. The items had been wiped clean with gasoline, another calculated move to destroy any potential fingerprints. The sender also included a chilling note, pieced together from newspaper clippings that read, "Here is Dahlia's belongings. Letter to follow." This act of audacious communication only deepened the mystery and heightened the public's fear. It was clear the perpetrator was intelligent, bold, and enjoying the cat-and-mouse game he was playing with law enforcement. Over the next few weeks, more letters from the supposed killer, who called himself the Black Dahlia Avenger, arrived at various newspapers. The handwritten notes were menacing and erratic, promising more details but delivering only confusion and more taunts. Investigators were inundated with false confessions, with dozens of people coming forward to claim responsibility for the heinous crime. Each confession had to be meticulously checked and debunked, wasting valuable time and resources while the real killer remained at large, watching the chaos he had created unfold. The investigation became a sprawling, tangled web of false leads, red herrings, and public hysteria. Decades passed, And despite the massive effort, the case went cold. The name Black Dahlia became synonymous with the ultimate unsolved mystery, a ghost story that haunted Los Angeles. The files remained open, but active leads had long since dried up, and the trail grew colder with each passing year. The story became a legend, a dark piece of folklore whispered about in Hollywood circles, inspiring books, films, and endless speculation. For over half a century, it seemed the killer had committed the perfect crime, destined to take his secrets with him to the grave, leaving the world to wonder forever who was responsible for such a monstrous act. For many years, the case remained frozen in time, a relic of post-war Los Angeles. Then, decades later, a new and deeply personal investigation began to take shape. After my father, Dr. George Hodel, passed away in 1999, I started going through his belongings. I was a retired LAPD homicide detective, and a shocking discovery in his private photo album sent a chill down my spine. I found 2 pictures of a dark-haired woman who bore a striking resemblance to Elizabeth Short. This discovery was the catalyst for a journey that would consume my life, forcing me to confront the horrifying possibility that the man I called my father could have been the sadistic monster the police had hunted for so long. My investigation led me to uncover a mountain of circumstantial evidence pointing squarely at my father. He was a brilliant physician with a genius-level IQ, but he also had a dark side, a known association with the surrealist art scene, including artist Man Ray, whose work often featured dismembered mannequins eerily similar to how Elizabeth Short's body was posed. In 1950, police had actually bugged my father's home during a separate investigation. On the secret recordings, he could be heard discussing the Black Dahlia case, saying, "Supposing I did kill the Black Dahlia, they couldn't prove it now. They can't talk to my secretary anymore because she's dead." Shortly after, he fled the country and lived abroad for nearly 4 decades. The evidence continued to accumulate. A leading handwriting expert confirmed that my father's handwriting was a match for the taunting notes sent by the Black Dahlia Avenger. Receipts proved he had purchased concrete bags just like those found near the dump site. Years later, I brought a cadaver dog to our former family home, the Sowden house, and it alerted to the scent of human remains in the basement. It became clear to me that the murder likely took place in that very house, where my siblings and I had lived as children, completely unaware of the horrors that may have been unfolding under our own roof. Each new piece of evidence strengthened my conviction. Then, in 2018, a crucial piece of the puzzle surfaced. The granddaughter of a former LAPD informant found a hidden letter from 1949. In it, the informant, W. Glenn Martin, explicitly named G.H., George Hodel, as the killer, and expressed his fear of him, suggesting a high-level police cover-up was protecting my father. This letter provided external corroboration for what I had suspected for years. It painted a picture of a well-connected, untouchable figure who had used his intelligence and influence to evade justice, not just for the murder of Elizabeth Short, but possibly for several other crimes as well. Armed with what I believed to be overwhelming evidence, I presented my findings to the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office. Stephen Kay, the former deputy DA who famously prosecuted the Manson family, reviewed my case file. He later stated publicly that if my father, George Hodel, were still alive, he would have filed 2 counts of murder against him, and that he was confident he could have secured a conviction. This was a powerful validation from a veteran prosecutor, confirming that my investigation had uncovered a compelling and prosecutable case against my own father. It was a bittersweet moment, providing a sense of closure but also confirming the terrible truth. Despite this, and the wealth of evidence I have compiled over 2 decades, the Los Angeles Police Department has never officially closed the Black Dahlia case. While individual detectives have acknowledged my theory as credible and strong, the department maintains that without definitive, irrefutable forensic evidence, like a DNA match, they cannot officially name a suspect and mark the case as solved. The original investigation was conducted long before modern forensic science, and the trail is now nearly 80 years old. As a result, the case remains open in their files, a lingering question mark in the city's official records. The lack of an official resolution means that the Black Dahlia murder continues to occupy a unique space in the public consciousness. It is both a solved case and an unsolved one, depending on who you ask. For me and many others who have examined the evidence, There is no doubt that Dr. George Hodel was the killer. Yet, for the official record, the mystery endures, allowing for endless debate and speculation to continue. The story resists a final, tidy conclusion, which is perhaps part of its enduring appeal. It's a wound on the city's history that is never fully healed. Today, the story of Elizabeth Short remains one of Hollywood's most tragic and captivating tales. It serves as a grim reminder of the darkness that can hide behind a veneer of glamour and intellect. While the official file may remain open, the tireless pursuit of the truth has, I believe, unmasked the killer and brought a measure of justice to Elizabeth. Her case is a testament to the fact that some mysteries are too powerful to ever be forgotten, echoing through the generations as a haunting and cautionary legend of a dream that turned into a nightmare.